Good afternoon from BMW and Porsche of Ocala. I'm Scotty, one of the BMW and Porsche product geniuses over here. And today we have two beautiful cars in front of us. Beginning on the right, of course, we have a 2020 BMW 540i sedan. And on the left of us, of course, we have the all-new redesigned 2019 Macan. Now we're going to start off on the left, of course, with our lovely Macan. Of course, this car is going to be powered by an inline four-cylinder turbocharged engine that generates 248 horsepower and 273 foot-pounds of torque. And that power, like all Macans, is sent via all four wheels with an intelligent all-wheel drive system. Now, I did mention that this car was refreshed for 2019, and let's go ahead and jump right into some of those changes that we see here. In the front of the car, of course, we have newly redesigned headlamps, which are now just a one large piece and don't have the little cutout over here for the headlight washers, and also have a much more aggressive 4-dot matrix design. And of course, those do turn up to 15 degrees either direction as you're heading along a dark country road. And then down below, of course, we have a newly redesigned front end, which is the little lower intake area, that little kind of a little fin there, is more reminiscent of the GTS Macans as it was to the standard Macans of the time before. So it gives you that kind of much more aggressive rake right there, larger intake, really sharp design there. And of course, then we have the large front lip right down below as well. And if we come to the rear of the vehicle, we'll also see an update there as well to a single-piece design taillight that's starting to become an iconic look across all of the Porsche lineup. So we have the single-piece design, once again, kind of paying a bit of homage to the old 911s from the 993 and previous, of course. Just really making an iconic design, making a comeback, of course. But let's go ahead and drop right into some of the options of this car. Now, this car does feature the Spider RS wheel design package, an absolutely gorgeous wheel design on this car. Many spokes, really makes it look sharp as well. Absolutely gorgeous, of course. And these are going to be 21 inches, so very impressive of its size. And it fits the wheel well so nicely on here. And we're going to go ahead and come on over to the sticker, because we don't like to misquote anything. So this car, if we go ahead and take a look, it's going to be finished in jet black metallic, and that interior is going to be a Mojave beige. Absolutely gorgeous, of course. And we see all these perforations in the leather, of course, because this car does have ventilated as well as heated seats. And we'll jump right into some of those a little bit later, but we want to make sure we go over everything, of course. And of course, we already mentioned the 21-inch Spider RS wheel design package, but if we look right over here, here's an important option. We're going to have the lane keep assist and lane change assist included with it. Now, lane change assist is Porsche's way of calling blind spot. But since we also have the lane keep assist, that means we're actually going to have a little extra button inside right over here. Now, normally this would be for a lane departure warning, which would just kind of give you like a little frog sound when you drift from the steering wheel, or drift from a lane. But since we see that steering wheel inside, that actually lets us know that this car will maintain its lane composure as you're heading along the highway. Going down from there, we're going to have the Premium Package Plus. Now, that's an important one. Now, you got to have that in pretty much any Macan. But we can see the Bose surround sound stereo system, so it does have the upgraded surround sound stereo system. We see that by the little badge right over here. We're going to have auto-dimming exterior and interior mirrors, and that's what that little green light's for. You can actually turn that feature on and off, which is nice. From there, we're going to have Porsche Entry and Drive. So what that allows me to do is unlock or lock the car from any of the four doors without having to pull out the key every single time. Of course, we're going to mention those LED headlights, and those are called the PDLS Plus, so that also means we're going to have automatic high beams as well, so a very nice feature to have. We're going to have the seat ventilation that we've already mentioned in the front when we saw those perforations. We're also going to have the gigantic panoramic roof system that stretches all the way to the back seats, which is also very nice. Of course, really opens up the interior space of the car, really makes it a lot more just, it doesn't feel nearly as cramped. And even in a vehicle this size, you have a dark interior and a whole dark cabin. It can really start making things feel cramped no matter how big the car is, but this car is no issue at all. We're going to have the 14-way power seats for both the front, driver, and passenger. And we're also going to have heated front seats, but also heated rear seats. So if we come right back over here, of course, not only do we have the vents for temperature control, and I want those a little warmer, as well as two USB outlets for charging devices, we're also going to have the heated rear seats as well. So nobody's going to be uncomfy in this car at all, no issues at all. Plenty of space in the back seats, even as far back as I have the seats always in the front, just to make filming a little easier. Of course, we have a beautiful piano black trim with that brushed aluminum or powdered aluminum little accenting at the top, of course. Very sharp. Bose surround sound stereo system down below. But let's go ahead and hop into the driver's seat. and take a look at some of the aspects in here. Now, of course, as mentioned before, we do have the 14-way power seats for both the driver and passenger. If we take a look over here on the left-hand side, we do have our blind spot assistant is going to be right there. Our way to adjust the windows, of course. We can open and close the trunk with just a single button press from inside the cabin as well, so you can close it. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can see it in the mirror. Sorry, kind of hard to angle it, but you can see it closing there. Really nice feature to have there. Of course, our cruise control is down over here. Our headlights are in automatic. Our windshield wipers are automatic as well. Of course, we do have our centralized tachometer, of course, following Porsche heritage and racing tradition. Our key on the left-hand side, once again, more heritage there. Really nice to have, but that's actually not a key that you actually end up having to use. It's actually stuck in there, and as long as you have the key in your pocket, you just twist that, and it turns on the car, no issues at all. And then we have our digital instrument cluster on the right-hand side, which you could cycle through a lot of information, such as our audio, telephone, map, navigation, trip computer, tire pressure, torque split for the all-wheel drive system, back to our vehicle's temperatures and pressures and things like that. Of course, this car only has about 27 miles on it, so literally brand new. And if we come over here and take a look at our dash, this is where they saw a lot of the changes. Now, right now we have a little bit of glare because we do have the screen protector on, but this is the all-new feature that they added for 2019 is the new infotainment system from the Cayennes and Panameras. It's a really easy to work system. As you can see, we have nav, matches hitting nav over here, media for hitting media, phone for phone. It's just all about the same. So if I come over here to navigation, it's a very easy to work infotainment system. All I got to do is just hit this little hourglass right over here to start my guidance if I want to do anything. So if I wanted to find a Starbucks, I got to make sure I'm pointing the camera at it. And there we go. There's the nearest Starbucks. But that's a little, even then, that can be a little interesting. We'll check this out.
Please confirm the message.
Find me the nearest Italian restaurant.
Searching for Italian restaurant at the...
And there's all the local Italian restaurants. Just as easy as that. So I don't even have to type in anything. I don't have to do anything. It just does it all for me. Of course, this car does have FM, AM, and satellite radio stations, as you'd expect it to. Bluetooth audio, Bluetooth telephone, of course. All of our car settings right over there. Of course, beautiful interior. Of course, there's our sport mode, which sharpens up the throttle response and makes the exhaust a little louder. Our 2-zone, technically 3-zone climate control as well in the back. Really sharp interior. But let's go ahead and take a look at the trunk. Of course, our overhead console. We do have 3 garage door clickers right there. And if I take a look at the trunk, of course, little hidden button. Not many people know where that is. Right under the windshield wiper stock. We do have absolutely plenty of trunk space for any day-to-day use, or of course even like a little family trip. No issues at all with storage capacity. Now, one thing that will set this apart from the BMW is this car doesn't use run-flat tires, so it has a spare tire down below, as well as our Bose surround sound stereo system, but you do have some nice little bits of extra storage underneath here. So that's a nice little feature to have. As we mentioned, electronically opening and closing tailgate. And now that's going to conclude this car, because we don't want to spend too much time on one vehicle, but now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this one. Now, this is going to be a 2020 BMW 540i sedan. Now, this car is going to be powered by an inline 6-cylinder turbo engine that generates about 335 horsepower and about 332 foot-pounds of torque. And that power on this one is going to be sent to the rear wheels with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, the exterior of this car is going to be finished in a black sapphire metallic. So it has little blue speckles in it. Really a sharp color on this car. It's my own personal car's color as well. I always like a black car. It looks so good when they're clean. Of course, the interior of this car is also going to have the upgraded Napa leather interior. It's a very soft, and what I've been told, it's actually a sheepskin as opposed to a cowhide leather. Really nice, very nice and comfortable. Has kind of a contrast piping. Very nice stitching throughout the seats, of course. Very sharp. And if we notice something, this car also has perforations on it. And a very rare option on 5 Series is this car also has the heated and ventilated seats. So it has a lot of really nice goodies to it. And the reason why it has that is because we actually have the luxury seating package. Now, the luxury seating package gives me 20-way adjustable front driver and passenger seats. So we have everything from height, tilt, forward back, thigh support, pitch of your back, headrest, upper backrest, bolsters, as well as lumbar support. But it's also going to give me massage seats, and I can actually hit that and it'll give me all the different options of massages I can choose from, and that's both for the driver and passenger. So a really cool option, a rare one to have, and then it also gives me those ventilated seats as well. So pretty darn cool stuff there. But if we come right over here, we got another really rare option you don't see very often on these cars. Now this car is already going to come, of course, with the blind spot detection, the lane departure warning, the crash mitigation and avoidance systems, pedestrian avoidance and mitigation systems. But it's also going to come with active cruise control. Now, if we hop on in, now a lot of people aren't familiar with active cruise control, but normal cruise control everybody's familiar with. You set it at 70 miles an hour and then you're done. It just locks it in, but if somebody cuts in front of you, you got to tap on the brakes and cancel it. Not with this, though. If somebody gets in front of you with this while it's active, it'll automatically slow you down to that car's speed in front of you, and then as soon as they move out of the way or you change lanes, it'll automatically speed you back up. Then we also have something that was very similar, of course, to the Porsche. We also have our lane keep assist right over here. Of course, we can't activate it because we're not in drive, but that's this little button right over here. We have all of our media controls on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. Next station, previous station. Voice commands, very good voice commands, just as you found in the Porsche. So I can do things such as, find me the nearest Mexican restaurant. And that's it. Simple as that. It's the exact same process. So it's a very easy to work infotainment system. Once again, automatic headlights, automatic windshield wipers, and automatic high beams as well. We do have our 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster right over here that I can cycle through all my different options. There's my media, driving mode, MPG, of course, our trip computer information, horsepower, torque, and back to the media, of course. This car for 2020 also saw a bit of an update, and this transitioned to iDrive 7.0, which is just the latest infotainment system. And we also saw that change exactly right over here in the digital instrument cluster. So we really just saw a technology change, of course, for this year of this vehicle. So we can see it's much more touch-friendly as well, or you could stick to using, if you're used to BMWs, using the dial, or, of course, voice commands. No issues there. But it also comes with 1 year of Apple CarPlay compatibility, as does the Macan over there. It does come with Apple CarPlay. Both of them wireless as well, so very cool feature to have. Some people like it, some don't, but it still gives you the option of using it if you wish. Of course, our navigation, really easy to work. FM, AM, and satellite radio, as you'd expect, of course. There we are, no problems at all. Pretty darn easy. We also have a newly redesigned steering wheel for 2020 as well, this beautiful stitching right here. That was already there, but we have new button layouts, of course. Since this car has the heads-up display, we can actually cycle through all of our media. Our navigation information pops up over there, our telephone, cruise control information, media information as we see now. Speed that we're going, the speed limit of the road that we're on is right over there. Really good essential driving information. Now, just as the Macan has the Bose surround sound stereo system, this car is going to have the Harman Kardon 16-speaker stereo system. And once again, it has a full electronic equalizer to change all the sound settings and everything like that. Really sharp. And you can go all the way to the equalizer and change it to a 7-bander. Really cool. Of course, we do have a nice little panoramic moonroof right here. Very sharp, especially in today's nice dusk time. We do have the ambient lighting on this car as well. Right now we have it in bronze. And it can be changed between about 5 different colors. But let's go ahead. If we spend too much time on the interior, we're not going to be able to talk about some of the options. This car is also going to come with the executive package. Now, what the executive package gives us a ton of things. So we're already going to have comfort keyless access entry, allow me to unlock or lock the car without even having to pull out the key. But we're also going to get soft closed doors. So if I were to just gently close that, of course, that would close the rest of the way for me. We're also going to get the power tailgate. So we could pop and lower the trunk from inside the cabin, or of course behind. Really cool. Got to have the key in the car for that, but I got it in my pocket. Of course, going from there, we're going to have the rear sunshade. So if I open up this little guy right back over here, I can lift these little guys up. They're just manual. Hook it into the little slots up here. No problems at all. Can really change the environment for the backseat passengers if somebody's got to be taking a nap or something like that. Really makes things nice. Also a good sense of privacy and keeping it colder on a warm day. Heated front seats. The adaptive full LED headlamps. Now, they changed these over to this much more aggressive look. Everyone's kind of used to just the full circles of BMW, but now they kind of cut them almost in half to give it a much more aggressive line that goes across there. It's hard to see right now. But, of course, these turn to 15 degrees either direction as you're heading along a dark country road. As we've already seen, it has automatic high beams as well. So really sharp. And, of course, we see our active cruise control radar there. Our kidney grills are actually closed right now because the engine's not needing that extra cooling, because it's not a hot day. So it helps the aerodynamics as well of the vehicle, so pretty cool stuff. Then we have the automatic high beams. We've already mentioned that. We talked about the heads-up display as well as satellite radio with a 1-year subscription. But let's go ahead and talk about wireless charging, gesture control, and enhanced USB. So as we come inside, we actually have a little tray right over here that I can just put my cell phone in, and since we see that little battery symbol, it'll actually wirelessly charge my phone, of course, if it's compatible, which mine is, and by chance. But we're also going to have gesture controls on this car. Now, it's going to be hard to do with one hand holding the iPad, but all I have to do is just do the relaxed position, turn up the volume of the radio, or turn it down. I can go previous station, next station, mute the radio, unmute the radio. Really cool little things you can do with the gesture controls. You kind of combine it while you're using either voice commands or, of course, the dial over here. This allows another way of control over the vehicle. And then going from there, we're going to have the enhanced USB. Now, the enhanced USB allows you to actually have two phones fully connected at the same time, as opposed to just, well, it's only going to do the primary driver, whoever's phone gets in first. No, this car actually allows you to do both at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some other options. Of course, I wanted to mention the rear shade. I'm putting that up right there as well. You can see those little arms extending. We talked about the side shades, but there's the rear one. Of course, that Napa leather does transition to the back as well. From there, we're going to talk about the M Sport brakes. Now, the M Sport brakes actually give you a different kind of a brake compound for the pad. Give it a little more contact patch, really nice and aggressive, good bite to it. But we can tell that it has it because of these beautiful blue brake calipers. And of course, while we're over here, we're going to take a look at these wheels. Of course, absolutely gorgeous multi-spoke 19-inch wheel option. We'll go ahead and jump from that. Of course, 19-inch. We see old style 635. We've already talked about, of course, the Harman Kardon surround sound stereo system. And of course, we have some other little goodies. Of course, luggage compartment mats, wheel locks, all-weather floor mats, floating hubcaps. Now, those are fun. You flip it over, and it just goes boop, and always corrects itself. Just a neat little feature to have. And of course, as we come inside, of course, the trunk is absolutely massive on this car, as you'd expect for a sedan of this size. Of course, you can see there's plenty of space, no issues at all sideways. And the seats can be folded down right from the back as well if you do need extra cargo capacity as well. As we mentioned, electronically opening and closing tailgate. But if you do have any questions about either of these cars or any other car in our lot, please feel free to contact us. We are always happy to get all your questions answered and taken care of. We're going to just do one more quick little walk around, kind of around the fronts there. Transition over to this one. But other than that, we do look forward to hearing from you. And hope you're having a great day. Take care. Bye.